Good afternoon from a windy Kuala Lumpur here in Malaysia. Over there in the distance you can see the city skyline, the Petronas Tower. As always, there's a big mist over the city. No doubt this is due to trees being burnt in neighbouring Jakarta, and obviously the prevailing winds brings this across over here on the city. This is a short video about RAF Kula Lumpur, and for the benefit of ex-RAF personnel who served here in Malaysia during the emergency and thereafter up till about 1961, when the airfield was taken over by the Royal Malaysian Air Force. So we're now looking at the main runway, single runway, which back in the Malaysian conflict or troubles, it was the busiest airfield in the world at the height for the emergency. As you can see now, it's a different scene from the 1950s and 60s, a very built up city, modern city. And RAF Kula Lumpur, although the runway remains, the flight line has now changed considerably, and in front of us we've got a little bit of the flight line left there. But we've actually now got a construction site where the obviously the aircraft would have parked up. Most of the airfield itself has been demolished, although I think just there in the distance we can see a control tower. I'm not sure if that's the original one that was built in 1931 when the RAF moved in. It may very well have been built later on. Just going down along the perimeter for a minute, we've got the railway line, of course, but what I want to show you, and it might remind some of our ex-service men and women personnel, I'm just wondering if this is the original RAF accommodation blocks in the distance there, leading all the way up. I know there's a cinema here, it's quite well equipped camp, cinema, swimming pool, but they look pretty normal military service accommodation. Certainly where I've stayed in Belize with the Nissan huts back in the day when I was in the army. So let's have a bit of history. The RAF were based here, so it started off in 1931, and the airfield was used commercially and during the war, but then in the emergency, Malaysian emergency, a couple of RAF squadrons were posted here, mostly to support the ground troops. I don't think there was any fighters based here, no hunters or javelins or anything like that, but there was the Sycamore, the Dragonfly, Single Pioneer, Twin Pioneer, Valletta, obviously the DC-3, Oster aircraft, Cooperation aircraft. Both the Dakota and the Oster were equipped with loudspeakers at that time in the emergency, flying over the jungle, trying to get the communist terrorists to surrender, or the local population to obviously bring in some intelligence on their whereabouts. And also the Royal Navy were here. The Royal New Zealand Air Force with their Bristol freighters were also present. As the years went on, the airfield was still used by commercial operators. Up to 61 thereabouts we had the BOEC Britannias, and we also had the RAF Britannias coming in doing the trooping flights. The airfield itself was then handed over around about 1961, as I said, back to the Malaysian Air Force. So I hope this has been a useful presentation for you, and has brought back some memories who served here during the national service in the Malaysian campaign. Thank you for watching.